Welcome back, listeners. I'm Robin Black, and this is It's All About Healing podcast. In today's episode, I wanted to speak about the beauty and destruction is that God, He always has a plan. And that also includes self-destruction. I know when we often are faced with turmoil, adversity, just the fight in general, especially if we're in a workplace and we feel like, or we feel as though we spend more time fighting for our job versus actually doing our job. Or if you're in school, college or high school, it doesn't matter, but you feel like, I feel like I got to fight. There's just so much drama always involved in things. And you find yourself asking, do I just want to give up, or am I on the brink of a mental breakdown? I don't know. Why is this happening to me? Right? We tend to fall into self-pity. But when we focus on how badly it feels or how unfair it is, then we're focusing on the negativity, right? Which negative thoughts, they tend to manifest themselves and we tend to amplify the negativity. Therefore, we bring the negativity in more than we realize. That's why we can't focus on that, right? When we focus on the negativity, we're focusing on that distraction. We can't hear the understanding. Therefore, we lose sight of God. And I don't know, I remember in an earlier episode where I was speaking about the people who don't know how to swim, because I know I definitely don't. Either when you're in a swimming pool or you're in the ocean, right? And you're getting to that deep water and you're kind of like on your tippy toes and the water's getting closer to your neck. You're starting to panic a little bit and then you can't feel the ground beneath you because you hit that drop off. If you're in a swimming pool, it goes from, 5 feet to 9 feet. Or if you're on the ocean, right, you have that drop off and you can't feel yourself. You can't feel your feet on the ground anymore. And that when we focus on the negativity of our situations, that's kind of that sweet spot where we panic. If we can't feel our feet touching the ground anymore, we begin to panic. And it's like you lose sight because you lost your footing. I can't feel the ground. And God is who and what grounds us. When we lose sight of God and we are in that panic mode, right? It's like we get into the mindset of this is the end all be all. What my life is over. I'm never going to get this. I'm never going to be that, right? We just start speaking negatively about everything because it's the only thing that we can see and focus on. And that's where we can no longer remain, right? God is who keeps us grounded in these storms. And He is the only thing that can calm these storms, calm the waters, and put our minds at ease. And I know when I'm looking at some of these YouTube videos or, I see on any type of social media, I continue to hear that, oh, you'll miss your opportunity. If you do this, if you do that, you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out. You're going to miss out. And that I find that extremely frustrating because you're not going to miss out on anything that is meant for you. No matter how many mistakes you have, no matter or how many mistakes you have made, no matter how many wrong turns you have made, we must also just always remind ourselves that God is our beginning and our end. He is the creator. And if you listen to these people who try to tell you that you're going to miss out, you're going to miss out, you're going to miss out. No, you're not. How can you miss out on something that's meant for you? You think that God hasn't already calculated that along your paths. God has already calculated all of our wrong turns. He has already calculated all of our doubts. He has already calculated all of our distractions. God has already calculated our steps. He knows, right? But when God says that we have to heed to Him and we must not heed to evil through our free will, right? So it is our free will. If we continue to want to heed to evil, we keep entertaining all the darkness that continues to call us, then yes, it's not that you'll miss it, it's that you're not going to hear it, right? It's still going to be there, but you have to continue to do the work. Faith without works is dead. You got to continue to keep working. I got to keep asking God, because sometimes we unknowingly heed to evil, right? We do it without even knowing sometimes. And that's when we have to constantly keep God in our lives, keep asking him, God, please direct me. Thank you for waking me up this morning, but please give me the strength to get through. Give me the direction. Please navigate my path so I don't make any wrong turns. Like, we have to continue to stay in prayer. Prayers are like electricity. The only way it's going to work is if we keep up the momentum. We got to keep it going. And if we don't make it to what God has for us, right? Because he's the one who gives us our desires. So what's a true desire for you? God is the one who gave it to you. And if you go around feeling like maybe this desire just isn't meant for me, maybe it was just wrong, or maybe something's just, I thought it was for me and maybe it's just not meant for me, right? We fall into that self-pity again. But at the end of the day, the choice is ours. Where exactly are we leaning more towards? Are we leaning more towards the darkness? Are we leading by God, right? We're allowing God to lead us. We take our own thoughts out of this scenario. We just take it out, especially when you're when you're dealing with so much turmoil or adversity. You look up, right? And when we look up, it's as though we're looking at the heavens above us. Therefore, we know that his thoughts are way higher than our thoughts. So even when we are in that state of mind of this is the end all be all, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how to make these bills. I don't know how to do that. God knows our situations already. He knows exactly what's going on. He knows exactly how we're feeling. He knows our situation. He knows everything. He knows what we're thinking. He knows what we're going to lean more towards. He knows all of this already. Therefore, whenever we feel that we're in trouble, it's not a time to be scared and say, oh, God, I don't know what to do, or I'm just going to try to do this by myself and figure it out on my own because I'm going to be in trouble. That's the time when we need to lean on him the most, is when we're lost and we don't know what to do. God does know what to do. He has the ability to carry it all. Because when we try to carry it, that's when we give Satan in this darkness, right? We give him the key, and he just messes with our minds, and he just there's so much confusion, there's so much frustration. You can't focus. You lose focus on everything that actually matters because he blinds us, right? We're in the darkness. But we have this everlasting candle. It's as though, right? It's as though we have this everlasting candle inside of us. And even if that light is burning out, right? That fire is burning out, we hold the power to ignite the fire that gives us the ability to relight it, no matter how many times it takes, because God gives that to us. That's the gift that he gives us all the time, is he's never going to forsake us. He gives us grace, he gives us mercy, and he forgives. And that's what is so amazing and beautiful about the beauty behind the destruction. Even when you think about a volcano or any natural disaster, but a volcano, you look at it and it's so pretty, right? That bright neon lava is it's gorgeous to see, but it's so destructive, right? And it lets you know that there's two sides to the good and the bad. There's always going to be a good and a bad. It's just that it's a constant reminder of the world around us and Mother Earth. It's that constant reminder that he gave us a choice through all of these bad situations, these horrible storms. We have a choice to lean on him, that he will be the one that gets us through. When we continue to keep repeating certain storms, or just if we're in a season of repetitiveness, sometimes it's God who grows us in wisdom, right? He'll grow us in confidence and steadiness and also patience. Because once you perfect something, no one, right? Absolutely no one can try to tell you that you're doing something wrong, because right? I remember when my brother, because my brother's, he has his pilot's license, and he started flying planes at a very, very, very young age. And I remember he was flying one of those Cessna, I believe that's the name of it. I can't remember, but he was flying one of those small airplanes. And I remember my father was like, "Oh, it looks like you don't have enough fuel in there." And I remember my brother said, "This is not a lawnmower. It doesn't work that way." Right. And he said there was so much passion and frustration behind it, because he's like, "You're trying to tell me what I need to do with an airplane that I know about, because I put all the hours into it. I did all the work. It took a lot of work to get this far and have the ability to be able to fly this thing." Right. So when it doesn't matter what it is, I don't care if you're doing gymnastics, you're cutting grass, you're baking, cooking, whatever it is that you're doing, once you perfect it, and someone tries to tell you that you're doing it wrong or that there's another way to do it, it's going to frustrate you a little bit, because you know that you have done it so many times. I could do this in my sleep. I know exactly what I'm doing. And that's exactly how God is. He wants us, when we keep going through these same storms over and over and over again, and we constantly focus on the negativity behind it, and we say, "I'm so tired of this storm. I'm so tired of fighting." It's like once we take a moment and we just remain quiet for a moment, just get quiet, we isolate with God, and we start asking God, why, right? Help me understand why this keeps repeating itself, this situation. And once he brings you to that understanding, you're able to grow in patience. You're able to grow in perseverance. You're able to endure through all the endurance that he's building in us. And I remember there was a dream that I had not too long ago. It was probably only about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I was on an elevator. And when I looked at the numbers in the elevator, it said 3P. And when I woke up, I was just like, "Oh, 3P, 3P. What does that mean? I don't know what 3P means." And then it was about 2 or 3 days later, I opened up my YouTube, and it was this woman on here, and she said the 3Ps. And the 3Ps were, I believe it was, what was it? I think it was patience, perseverance, and posture. So I knew exactly why God had given me this dream, and why I saw this elevator taking me up to the 3P. And then this YouTube video pops up, and I'm like, okay, this makes so much sense now. God is telling me that I got to remain steadfast, because he has to grow me in patience, perseverance, and posture, right? It's our heart posture. A lot of us can be so just in our heads, right? Especially because we internalize so many thoughts. It's our minds and hearts that have to get on the same page. They have to start harmonizing with one another. When our stillness and when we remain steadfast, and that there's no peace in that stillness, it's because we haven't learned the lesson that is being presented or continues to keep presenting itself. But once we learn the lesson, we have to apply that lesson as well. We have to apply what we learned. When God says to remain steadfast, remain steadfast as all things are in his timing, his alignment. He orchestrates and executes this masterpiece, right? Not us. But just as he gave us grace for our imperfections, it is he that is perfect. Therefore, if he is orchestrating all this, the way I see it is now I have all the patience in the world because I'm gaining this understanding of how he's putting it all together. It's not just me that has to grow in wisdom and aligning, and he has to align everything, and he has to align our hearts and our minds and our spirit. It's not just me. It has to be everyone involved, even our enemies, right? Even some of our enemies that we feel they do us wrong, they hurt us, but sometimes our enemies are our stepping stools, right? Our stepping stones, are our stepping stones that get us to the next level, right? Maybe we're trying to cross this bridge over troubled waters, but in order to cross this bridge, we have to meet this enemy. That way I can learn this lesson so I can get over here. Otherwise, I won't make it, right? Sometimes the people that we feel aren't very nice people, or we just feel like, why did I meet this person? I didn't do anything wrong. I don't know why I'm meeting this person. Sometimes that person becomes our destiny helper because they're teaching us something that we would have never learned on our own had we not met them and had we not gone through the adversity that we've gone through with this person, with these people, with this job, or with this school, whatever the case may be. So everything that presents itself in our lives, it presents ourselves for a reason. That's the beauty behind all the destruction. But it's inevitable that Satan will keep chasing us, right? He's going to do it no matter what. That's why we have to have the armor of God, right? When we're so grounded and rooted in God and what he has for us, you become unbreakable, and no one will ever be able to tell you what you are or aren't capable of. Whatever keeps repeating itself, ask God for an understanding. Maybe he needs you to change something, or maybe he needs to keep preparing you for a blessing that's not quite ready. Remember that he loves us. He will never forsake us. Even when it's times that we feel that he's not there. Sometimes it's our commitment that he's testing. He has to test our commitment for these wonderful blessings that he's giving us as well. He wants to know that we're exercising our faith and our trust in him. But again, I'm Robin Black. This is It's All About Healing podcast. Everyone, stay blessed. Again, I'm your host, Robin Black, and this is It's All About Healing podcast. If you're navigating grief, toxic relationships, trauma, financial pressure, or the slow work of rebuilding after setback piled upon setback, this channel is for you. Our community now spans 118 countries, proof that real stories travel and that healing accelerates when we carry one another. Share your story, lend your voice, and let grace turn pain into purpose. Book your podcast in the link below and share your story. Be sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Wherever you are in the world, good morning, good evening, and good night. Stay blessed.